Well, good midday, good midday, good midday, good midday to each and every one of you. Our prayer is that God is just being who He is the way He knows how to do it. I mean, I really don't have any other way to express it other than just that. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good, kind, understanding. We are just grateful again for an opportunity on Wednesday. That reminds me. I got to get my little notice out there for midweek on tonight. He is so good. Doe, how are you? Good midday to you. Carletta, good midday to you. Uh, Doe, who is the Slade family? Slade. I see that somebody, I'm trying to think of who this was. Desiree was talking about somebody passed, and I wasn't sure if I remembered who they were. Uh, Kathy, thank you for being here. Sharon, Denise, Linda, Nancy, Rhonda, Tamika. Ah, Tamika, you beat your mother again. Lord have mercy. I can't believe this. Minister Sarah, bless you for being here. Thank you so much, so much. Tom, Jemison, Barbara, bless the Lord for you being here with us on this great day. And He is good. The Lord is good, gracious, kind, merciful, understanding. Everything we need Him to be, and then some. Okay, all right. Hey, Thomas Jennings, how are you, sir? Bless you for being here with us on today. They live in Beaver Falls. Okay, thank you. I couldn't figure that out. I didn't think this was someone from Midland, but I wasn't sure because I know, Desiree um, was sharing on Facebook how been out of shape she was over someone that had passed. So thank you. I appreciate that. Cecile, Minister Marcia, Sandra, thank you so much. Excuse me for being here with us on today. It's a great day. Still a little chilly, but you better enjoy tomorrow because things gonna change after tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be a warm day, no rain, but then after that, some changes is on the way. So please share, please share, please share, please share, please share. That would be great. Okay, all right, all right. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. So we're grateful to God for those of you that are here with us on today. Okay, and just glad, happy, excited, overwhelmed, overjoyed, ecstatic, you name it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Okay, so again, grateful, thankful for you, one and all, for being a part. Please share, please share, please share, please share, please share. That is important. I'm going to see how many people come on today after yesterday. Chaplain Hearns, bless you. Good midday to you. It's tight, but it's right. It is what it is. The thing that we have to understand is the importance and the significance of rightly dividing the word of truth, even when we don't like the truth. And the truth of the matter is, we don't always want, like, or appreciate truth, but it's the only thing that will set us free. So we have to take the good, the bad. I remember growing up, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, Denise. I grew up in the day where you didn't go to doctors. They had their own series of medications over the counter. One of them was called Father John's. The other ones was Fletcher's, Castoria, Black Draw. Of course, there was cod liver oil, and there was this other one. Why can't I think of what the other one is? It was nasty, thick, and kind of creamy clear. And so we were actually afraid to cough. Hey, Valerie, how are you? Tell Dad we said hi. Thank you so much, Janice, for letting us know that all is well. 666. I remember that. Cod liver oil. I remember that. There's still castor oil. Castor oil. There you go. See, I'm so glad that I'm not the only person. SS tonic. Yep, I remember that too. And so what would happen is, Vernice, bless you for being here. Minister Clay, good to have you here with us. Gaither, bless the Lord for you. We would be scared to cough in the house. Father John's, yes. Milk, no, now see, milk of magnesia. Come on, Sharon. That was the easy stuff. Okay. We're talking about the gut wrenching, does all kind of have you on the floor in the fetal position. Okay. Oh, Sister Thomas, how are you? Cora, about time you got there, and I'm just messing with you, Misty. And so, oh my God. And so what would happen is if we coughed, the next thing you know, they were headed to that medicine cabinet. And when I tell, all of it was nasty. Now, the only one that was halfway decent was Fletcher's Castoria, and that's because it has sugar in it. And if y'all remember, when we take that stuff and they had a hard had sometimes had to take woo Lord have no girl juniper tar. Oh shit. Let's see. You done took us back to way back. I remember hearing about that stuff. And he would eat onions. Oh, see, somebody need to be delivered. Okay. Take a teaspoon of goose grease and oh, Father, yeah, Lord, what have I done? What have I done? And so the reason that Fletcher's was a little bit tolerant because it had sugar in it. And so they'd have to take a pair of pliers to open it back up because the sugar had built up on it so strong. And we hated it. And the thing about it is you weren't allowed to spit it out because what they would do is they would stand there and wait till you swallowed it. And then if you didn't swallow it, they would make you swallow it. But the one thing that I could say, no, you had no colds, you had no cough because, hey, Pee Wee, how are you? It did what it did. That's all I'm gonna say. It did what it did. But that was some of the most horrific. And you know what? That stuff is still for sale. Every bit of it is still for sale. A lot of younger people don't know anything about that, but that stuff right there, Sherry. But you know what though? I ain't trying to be funny. It kept us healthy. It was nasty, but it kept us healthy. That's my segue into what I want to talk about today. Because I have a question for you. When the Lord looks at you, what question does He ask Himself? The question that I have today, because I have 3 of them. Young people, Jaleesa, don't know nothing about no Fletcher's Castoria, Black Dwarf, castor oil, 666, all that other stuff that we mentioned whenever we got sick, or even we didn't even have to get sick. All we had to do was have a cough. I remember the chocolate X-Lax, but it you could chew on them and it'd be all right because it had chocolate in it, but some of this other stuff was terrible. But it worked. And so the question is, do you have terms and limits on your forgiveness? Oh, your grandparents. Okay. Well, I will let you slide in because I'm quite sure, knowing your grandfather and grandmother, they were well acquainted with those old remedies. And so, do you have limits or do you have terms and limits on your forgiveness? Do people have to do certain things or jump through hoops or whatever the case may be, in order for people to receive your forgiveness? I want us to think about that for just a moment because, and I have two other questions that I'm going to ask you, but I think it's important for us to wrap our minds around this. Yeah, do we? Do we really? Are there certain people that no matter how they treat us, no matter what they do to us, we forgive them? And then there are other people who may offend us one time and we remember and we hate them and we act atrocious toward them the rest of our lives. This is going to get kind of deep, y'all, because it's going to be a part two. Now, I need to let you know that I'm not sure what time tomorrow is going to be. I got to take Lady Harrison to the eye doctor. They must dilate her eyes. And so I'm not sure how long that procedure is going to take. So we'll go from there. We just want to get that out there. But there will be a part two to this because it's too much for us to dissect just in a very short period of time. Who do you put limits on? Who don't you put limits on? Are there some people that can get away with murder with you and other people you crucify even if they look at you wrong? Are there people who can mistreat you and do whatever they want and you come right back for some more? Or are there other people that you are about ready to castrate and nullify and terminate over one little thing that they do wrong? Whether it is intentional or whether it is accidental. Erica, bless you for being here with us on today, because I'm going to look at something. Let's see if we can examine this and see if we can't find. Continue to pray for Thea. I think she's in Akron, homegoing celebration of one of her relatives on today. And Barbara, it is hard to answer if we are truthful. And I think Barbara, thank you for being so honest. The reason that it sometimes is so difficult is simply because there are people. Hey, Laverne, how are you? Gina, how you feeling? There are people who we will overlook. There are people that we will let slide, and they can tick us off to the point that we're ready to fight, but we ain't fighting them. Because here's what we do. You will take it out on a person whom you feel you can control or dominate, but you won't touch the person that actually did it to you. And so what happens is that level of unforgiveness now spills over into relationships that did absolutely nothing to you. In relationships between men and women, women become overwhelmingly bitter. And when they enter into another relationship, they take all of that out on the next person. It works both ways nowadays. Could be a situation where she was no good and whatever the case may be, and now all women are no good, just like all men are no good. And we've heard these diatribes that have taken place for generations about who ain't no good, not realizing that the venom that's within us now continually perpetuates itself and rejuvenates itself simply because we don't really have the spirit of forgiveness. Now, in Matthew chapter 18, starting at verse 21, we're going to find something interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because Peter, and you know, Peter is the tenacious one. And that's right, Barbara. It does go both ways. You know, for years, it was always the man that was no good, but we're finding out there's some no good women out here that are literally destroying men. Miss Sharon, talk to me. Misplaced anger. And so what happens is, and then I'm going to move into this. What happens is, because we don't have what it takes to deal with the person that wounds us, we wound everybody else. And what we fail to understand is now we've unleashed this huge group of people that can't stand nobody and are vindictive and angry and hateful and malice, and not understanding that all of this stuff started from two people Now it has infected hundreds. That's deep, isn't it? Because if the issue is not dealt with appropriately, then we become vindictive in everything, and it spills over into the kids, spills over into the family, spills over into the household. It spills over into, and we don't even know it. Peter says something. Peter came to him, Jesus, and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Look at what Peter is doing. Rabbinical teaching in the book of Amos, I believe in the book of Job. Let me make sure, because I know I got some theologians out here. The book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 3, the book of Job, chapter 33, verses 29 and 30. It teaches that you should forgive them 3 times. And then after you have forgiven them 3 times, you no longer need to do so. Peter comes to him and says, well, should I forgive them 7 times? When a person, and again, has sinned against me, what limit do we put on our forgiveness? What are the guardrails to our forgiveness towards somebody who has done something to us? And if that's the case, that we have put limits on it, I want to see if y'all ready for this. I want to see if y'all ready for this. Y'all ready? Are you ready? Are you really, 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 really ready? If you can put limits on how you forgive, what would happen if God did the same thing toward us, towards you? I want to see if you get this. If you can say, I'm putting limit because I ain't gonna let nobody treat me like this again. I ain't gonna never let nobody. What if God? Let me ask this question. This is another question. Lavonda, good to have you here. What if God did the same thing to you? I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about that, because how many times have we sinned against God, and God does not treat us like we treat other people? Is it getting deep? Is it getting deep? Barbara, Elder James, Marcel, thank you for being here. Is this getting a little deep? I need us to look. Patricia, I need us to look at this, because we treat people in a vindictive, hateful way. But when we mess up toward God, God says, if you confess your sin, he is faithful and just to forgive you and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. And if God forgives you of all of the heinous, evil, vindictive, inconsistent, methodical evil that you have done toward him, and sinned, you lied, you cheated, you got high, you got drunk, you did all of this other kind of stuff, your life is out of control, and here you come with your drunk, high, crazy self and tell the Lord, Lord, I'm so sorry. And the Lord says, not a problem. But an unwillingness to do this towards somebody else. And so he turns around and says, well, how many should what do I do? What do I do when I reach number 7? What is my attitude when I reach number 7? How should I act when I reach 20? I mean, reach 7. Listen, because if God forgave us like we forgive people, we would be out of our minds, crazy, unhinged, and ridiculously stupid. Okay. And so Jesus comes under him because he's catching what Peter is trying to say in verse 22. Jesus said, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but 70 times 7. So what he has done is he has now busted Peter's bubble. And the reason he has done so, let me do this. Ooh, excuse me. Let's see now. Jesus says, since the only thing you wanted to do was that, Jesus says, you need to forgive them at least 490 times. Listen to what I'm saying. And I don't want to, well, I kind of do want to spill over into the next bit a little bit, but I need us to get this. Because my next question is, do you want what you're not willing to give? Do you want what you're not willing to give? Can you put that in the chat if you don't mind, for people, because people are going to be watching later and whatever. Ask this question. Do you want what you're not willing to give? Do you want what you're not, what do you want? Hey, LMA, do you want from God that which you are yourself are not willing to give? Do you want what you're not willing to give? Do you want God to be understanding? Do you want God to be faithful? Do you want God to be forgiving? Do you want God to give you another opportunity? Do you want God to look beyond your faults? Do you want God, every time you say you're sorry, to say not a problem at all? Do you want from God what you're not willing to give? Can you imagine what your life would be like if you forgave others like God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you and me? I need y'all to talk to me. I need y'all. Listen, he says, every single time that you jack me over, you lie to me, you do all of the stuff that you do, and you ask me for forgiveness, here's what I do. I take your sins, I put them in a bag, and I throw them over my shoulder into the sea of forgetfulness, that it will never rise. It will never. God ain't like us. He don't, you come to him, he said, oh, but see, I ain't gonna do this time because you lied to me before and you said you were gonna do such and such, and you ain't did it yet. No, I'm not gonna. No, thank God that he ain't nothing like us. But here's my problem. There's a problem with not being like him. There's a problem with not living like him. There's a problem. And see, we see all of this hypocrisy that's going on, even in the political life, where people call themselves Christians and have absolutely no love for anybody but themselves. There's something wrong with this. And this is the reason why young people don't want to be bothered with Jesus. This is the reason why young people don't want to be bothered with our hypocritical way, because we shout on Sunday, we jump all over the place, we do all of this kind of stuff. And in the midst of all the jumping, running, and shouting that we do, we still can't stand each other. We hold vindictive grudges forever. And we live in the venom and the sputum of our own realities, because we're so hateful and so evil and not willing to allow God to show you a better way of living. Woo! Did I just mess y'all up on that one? I need you. I need Daryl. I'm trying to get these folk to understand this. Carolyn, I'm trying to get you to understand it. You want from God what you are not willing to give to anybody else. And you got just as drunk, just as high. And I'm talking about since Jesus. You've done some stuff. You done slept around. You done did this. You done did on a and listen, for those of you that turn around and say, I ain't never slept with nobody, you did it in your mind. Jesus says if you look on a woman, and that works both ways, in case y'all just think that Jesus is just, trying to castrate men on looking on women and wanting to lust at women on the same situation. A woman look at a man and starts lusting after him. You are just as guilty as everybody. Don't sit up here and play me. And yet still in the midst of all the mayhem we do in the face of God, he still says, I'm going to forgive you. I went to Calvary while you were yet my enemy because I got what you need to get. Oh, I got the love of God. I'm trying to show you because, see, you thought God was vindictive and all of the other stuff. Every time you do something wrong, you have to lose a limb or eye or something else. I'm trying to show you that it has always been about grace. It has always been about mercy. It has always been about his loving kindness. And I shed my blood on God. I allowed them to pierce me in my side after I had died. Oh my God. So that blood and water gushed out of me so that you could be cleansed. See, Don, you get ready to make me shout. You get ready to make me shout. That's why you got to give God your best instead of the leftovers. Because God has never in your life gave you a leftover. Don, you set me up for that. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I gotta get ready to get out of here. I gotta get ready to get out of here. Listen to what I'm saying. Are y'all listen? There is a freedom in Christ that once you get it, you will never let go of it. And it takes a while to get there because I had people in my life that I wanted dead. I've had people in my life that I wanted God to do something to them, to knock them out, to punish them, to beat the bejesus out of them. And I would have been happy if he would have did it. Until one day, Jesus showed me my dossier and what I have been toward him, and yet still now that does not stop me. Hey, Trinette, that does not stop me from getting angry. It does not stop me from having a level of vindictiveness that rises up. It does not stop me from feeling the pain of what people do, but I get over it because he got over mine. I don't lose sleep at night because of Negroes or Negroettes. I don't lose sleep at night because white people are mistreating me and whatever the case. I don't lose sleep over the economic chaos and the political stupidity that's going on. I don't lose sleep. I'm concerned, but I'm not consumed. Listen, I have learned, and I'm getting ready to tell y'all something. Lynette Brown, I'm trying, listen, I'm trying to let this go, but it won't let go of me because I believe somebody's going to get set free in this lesson. I really do believe it. I'm not saying that you can't be wounded, but he was wounded for our I'm not saying that you can't be hurt because you can be hurt. But here's what I am saying. I'm not going to live hurt. I'm not going to live bitter. I'm not going to live hateful. I'm going to enjoy my life. I don't care who done pissed on me, done dunged on me, done did whatever they have done to me. They are not worthy of the peace of God that passes all understanding that God has given me. Did anybody get that? Did anybody pick up on that? I'm not losing my sleep. I'm not losing my peace. I am not. Because I've come too far in Christ to allow somebody else to consume my life to the point that now I'm miserable every day of my life. I'm not going to do it. You can be that way. I choose not to. And that's how my worship is for real. I'm sorry. Life is too short. I don't have that many more days left to turn around and be mad at you because, first of all, I think you stupid. I think what you did was dumb. Maybe some stuff I did to you was dumb. But I'm not going to hold that so that I am angry all of my life. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. Okay. Y'all, can y'all give me 5 minutes? Can y'all give me 5 minutes? Can y'all give me 5 minutes? Give me 5 minutes. And when I say this, it's going to sound overwhelmingly arrogant, but then that's just the way you're going to have to read it. Nobody on this chat that shall watch this chat or that knows me is worth my peace. Nobody. I don't care how much I love you, and I don't care how much I used to hate you. You are not worth my peace. I've got the peace of God that passes all understanding. As I can't remember the name of the group, I cried my last tear years ago. I ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it. LaShawn, I wish I had some help. I wish I had and I don't want to be out here all by myself. But then if I got to be by myself, then let me be by myself. I'm okay with that. You go on and be miserable. You go on and be bent out of shape. You go on and be vindictive. Every time you see him, you cussing them out and under your breath on whatever. You're telling everybody and talking about them like a dog, blah, 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 blah. I am not going to live in that venom. You go ahead and annihilate yourself. You go ahead and suffocate yourself. I'm not doing it. And I'm a pastor of a church, and I know folk don't like me. I know the community. There's people that don't like me, that don't care for me. They better get over it, because guess what? I ain't losing sleep over nobody. I know what I have been. Lisa, don't you get me started. Don, Sharon, Sister Thomas. I wish I had 10 people out here that have to understand. You got to understand this. God has done too much for me. He has forgiven me over and over and over, and I'm going to allow that to control me. Be not drunk with wine, wherein is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. And when I'm full of the Spirit, I ain't got time to be full of you. Okay, I gotta stop. Thank you for giving me those few minutes. Thank you for. I needed to get that. I needed to get that out, because when we come together, and again, I'm not sure what time it's going to be. It might be in the afternoon. I don't know when it's going to be. I'll try to get it out there as soon as I possibly can, because I'm going to look at verses 22 through 35. But I know I'm not going to get through this all of a sudden. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Get your 30-second dance in there right there. Listen to what I'm saying. Midweek at 6:30. 6:30 tonight, midweek. 6:30 tonight. 6:30 tonight, midweek. My heart's desire, and I've said this before, and the Lord keeps. Oh my God, Don, quit. See, and I share this. See, y'all got me going now. I share this with people who have people in their families that have dementia or Alzheimer's. What you have to understand is that you cannot take what they do or what they say personal, because if you do, you will lose your mind. I'm gonna say something else, and I know this is gonna sound really crass, But if you call my mama a B or a H or something like that, I'm not going to get mad at you because I know my mama's not that. So you can call me out my name. You can do whatever you want to. You can say whatever you want to. But as long as I know who I am, that's your problem. That's your little red wagon. Pull it, push it, whatever you want to do. But you're not going to pull me into your misery. You're not going to do it. I refuse. Because once the Son has set you free indeed. I refuse to allow any human being to make me miserable. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. Jesus came that we have life and have it more. And it's not saying that issues won't come, trials won't come. It's whether you control it by the power of the Holy Spirit or it controls you to your own detriment. I got to get out of here. Listen, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.